Identifying.
Let's go.
You're about to experience the uncensored conversations, stimulating wit, and the thought-provoking wisdom. Bold, raw, and uncut. Right now, on the LanceScurv Show.
Woman laughed after killing her boyfriend by pouring bleach down his throat. Everybody loved him, shared Clarence Hebron with CBS Chicago as he spoke about his late grandson's death. Darrius Ellis was allegedly killed by his girlfriend, Yasmine Elder, in a low-down, dirty way. According to Fox 26 Houston, Ellis was picking up Elder from work when the two began to argue. Elder, 24, and Ellis, 26, got into an argument on Monday as Elder believed that Ellis had been cheating on her. In what might have been a jealous rage, Elder allegedly grabbed Ellis by his dreadlocks and then pinned him on the floor between the seats with her knee. The two then struggled over a bottle of bleach. Ellis was not a big man. He was 5'7" and weighed 130 pounds. However, his girlfriend is 5'3" and weighs over 200 pounds. Using her weight to overthrow her boyfriend, Elder allegedly doused him with bleach in his face and throat, causing him to swallow the bleach. After the bleach thrown in his face and down his throat, Ellis managed to get away and ran to a friend's house. He fell to the ground and began foaming at the mouth. He was taken to a nearby hospital, but he died. Before his death, he revealed to his friend that his girlfriend, Yasmine Elder, was responsible. When confronted by one of Ellis's family members, Elder admitted to the act and even allegedly laughed when the family member shared with her that Ellis could possibly die because of her rage. Now Elder has been arrested and is facing a first-degree murder charge that could possibly have her spending the rest of her life in jail. What do you think about that, people? We have to check the people that we deal with. Just because people act normal in this day and age doesn't mean that they're balanced, doesn't mean that they're in touch with themselves, doesn't mean that they're aware of their present state of mind, which for the most part, if you do something like this, you're extremely dysfunctional and you need some help. Most people in today's society lean toward looking normal and looking like the real thing instead of actually being the real thing. Like I said in one of my prior videos this week, most of the times when people will ask someone, "How are you feeling? Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine." And they'll go do something crazy afterward. And you'll say to yourself, "Well, I just saw that person a little while ago and they said everything was okay." It doesn't mean that everything is okay because they say that everything is okay. This is a society of facades. This is the society and time of the superficial. Many people are hurting inside. Many people have nerves that when touched, they can overreact because they haven't dealt with the pain that they have on the inside. So we're into the covering, but not taking care of what's on the inside. Now, I don't know how the argument exactly went down, but he thought or she thought that he was cheating on her. Did she have proof? Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. But even if she did have proof that he was cheating on her, wouldn't it be normal to say, "Hey, we can't be together anymore"? But for somebody to take bleach, pin you down, and pour it in your face, that is some evil stuff. I mean, I'm one who likes to avoid drama. If I sniff drama in someone, even if it's not directed at me, I leave them alone. Because it's just a matter of time before they come around my way with drama and with stuff to keep things going. These days we have the internet. Who knows if she went through his phone, went through his social media. Maybe there was somebody on his friends list that wasn't supposed to be there that he used to deal with, and she may have said, "Well, I don't want you to deal with that person. I would feel better if you delete that person." You know, we can communicate how we feel. We can communicate the things that bother us. We can communicate the things that we're insecure about. We're all in a state of healing from something. This world is not easy. You come into this world a clean slate and pure, and the world does things to you, and you try to be a good person, and things happen. We know we have to pay bills. Loved ones pass away. Accidents happen. Disease and illnesses happen. Sometimes we get fired off of a job. Sometimes we're ridiculed by people and don't know how to deal with it. Sometimes we have low self-esteem. Sometimes we don't like the way we look. Sometimes we feel we're getting older and fear death. We see our mortality. There's so much going on and so many different factors and so many different categories in our life. So it's understood that we all may be insecure with something. The problem is when we deny that insecurity or deny that void and pretend like it's all normal and everything's okay, and we bottle those things up. Sometimes we're stressed beyond measure. Sometimes we don't see reality as it is. So we always have to get back to a point where we're in touch with ourselves and can assess the damage that the world has done to us, or probably the results of our bad choices. I find that many men and women bring the baggage from a prior relationship into the present relationship, and that's not good. If you've been done wrong in your prior relationship and you've healed up enough to deal in a new relationship, you should speak about it. This may not have anything to do with that particular incident, but I brought up that incident to show that we can do drastic things. And when we deal with somebody, we need to check them out. Because sometimes, just like that old cup of Dannon yogurt, we might lose the lid that told us what the flavor was. You know the old ones that had that little waxy lid and you pull it off and it was just white yogurt there. But there is flavor in the bottom, but you have to stir it up. And sometimes many people that we meet, they're like that old-fashioned Dannon yogurt that you had to stir up, but they didn't have a lid to tell you what flavor lurks below. And so circumstances that we go through with this person shows us what the flavor is, because the circumstances is like a tornado. It's like a hurricane. It's like a storm. It stirs things up that you didn't see initially. And they might be strawberry, but they told you you're blueberry. Or that they're blueberry. And you like blueberry, but you can't really deal with strawberry. So here you are holding this cup of Dannon yogurt thinking that it's blueberry. You take the spoon and stir it up and you see something red come up. The cup lied to you. It told you that it was blueberry just to get your favor. But then you found out through unfortunate circumstances, not always leading to death, but you realize that this person wasn't what they said that they were. And you have to move on. And this is why many of us find ourselves alone, because we send our representative when it's time to start that relationship. And then when we do run into somebody who's real and tells us, listen, you like what you see, but I also have some jacked up sides. This is what I like to do. This is what I'm weak for. This is my issue. It's better to have a used car that works perfectly under the hood, mechanically, with a few dents on the outside, as opposed to that car that looks so beautiful and it's waxed with no dents, new paint job and finish, and a beautiful stereo on the inside, and you're not even thinking about how it drives. You're not even thinking about what lurks under the hood as a mystery, that when you get down the road on a rainy day, that you get stuck on that road late at night. It won't carry you through. So we need to judge, or assess rather, because judging is when you don't know, but we need to assess the people around us from what they are on the inside. Yes, we can take it for gospel when they tell us something. But over time, they will show us, because circumstances will stir up the real flavor that lurks deep within. And that takes time. Sometimes we're with people for weeks and we don't find out, months and we don't find out, years and we don't find out, sometimes decades. Now, judging by the ages of both of these two individuals, I don't think it's decades. But when someone is in their mid-20s, how could they have such a rage to want to kill somebody, and judging by the article, just from the thought or chance that your mate cheated on you? And this can go male or female. The story just happens to be where the female killed the male. I don't bash my sisters. I try to lift them up. And again, the reason why I talked about this story is because of the circumstances, not because of the sex of the aggressor. I leave that for the other guy. But people, take your time. Take your time. Listen, I'm going to be very honest and tell you all that there have been relationships that I have been in that have taken large chunks of time out of my life that I can never get back. And I think back to what may have attracted me to that person, and I say, boy, I was just so off in my assessment. Once you get in, it's hard to get out. And once you get in, if you pick the wrong person, sometimes the result can be death.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at LanceScurv.com and follow Scurv on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under LanceScurv.